H2kinfosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2kinfosys supports 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus. One-time pay, lifetime access to live classes and videos. H2kinfosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For free demo class, visit H2kinfosys.com.
Okay, so if you look at this team, look at the first sample scoop command. Scoop import and then the connection statement. So I'm trying to connect to my SQL. So to enter into MySQL, I just need to give MySQL-new root. So here I entered into MySQL shell where I can look at the databases. As discussed yesterday, by default, there will be few databases that gets created as soon as you install MySQL. So these are a few things that I have on my machine. Again, the kind of Ubuntu version and the MySQL version that comes up will change the databases, default databases. So anything you can point off for your own, or you can create a new database even and start working. Okay, so let's say I'm pointing to MySQL itself. So now there will be few default tables as well. There are few that came up by default, and also I have created a few for our understanding and yeah, for our practice purpose. Yep. So let us open one more terminal. And here we will start executing scoop commands. Okay. Now looking at the command scoop import, the connection statement is MySQL. So still I'm connecting to local host, hence it is MySQL. Username would be by default root team. Maybe while working in your real-time projects, you might be shared with a unique username and passwords, which is specific to you. But yeah, when you install, by default it will be root. And now the table that I wanted to import is pet. So in this MySQL DB, there is a table called as pet, which I wanted to import. And the number of mappers that are to be executed are 1. Clear on the statement, team? Yes, no? So, okay. If you are clear, one question, guys. As soon as I import it, where it will go and store? On the HDFS layer? Is it a valid question to think for?
It is stored on HDFS, right?
Yeah, but where's the path? If I just take HDFS, where it should go and sit in. For example, if you're triggering a MapReduce job, you are giving some specific path to store your results, right? Which is nothing but output path. So any file that gets generated, it should go and sit in a specific location. Now in Sqoop, what is that? So by default, it will be user and then the username with which you have created the system. Looks like it's a bad day, guys. Nothing is working. user and then username, and here you will get the tables. So whatever table that you are retrieving, a HDFS path would be created with that table name. Here in case I already have it. So first of all, let me delete this. In that front, if there's anything else, even that has to be deleted. But yes, we are good. We don't have any. Okay. So let us go ahead and trigger this command, guys. In MySQL, I said that there is a table called as pet, right? So let's see what information we have over here. So I have 3 rows at MySQL layer. So all these 3 rows should be imported into our HDFS path, which is the default path. Yeah. If you look at it, it says that beginning this job. So a job ID is created, and also it's saying that beginning import of pet table. So pet.java is created. If you look at it, so the backend MR code is running. However, it shows map and reduce, but you will see the progress of only map code. The reduce will still say at 0% only. Yep. And finally, if you look at this, these are the number of bytes that were transferred, and total records are 3. So you can verify that. So as it is a MapReduce job, you would be getting all these 3 files like success, part file and all, where part file holds our results. So yep, all the 3 rows came in. Clear on this, guys? The most simplest and the default command generally people use with. But again, you can keep on adding much more parameters as per your wish and requirements. Okay, can we move on to the next one? Yep. So looking at the second statement team, it's very much similar to the previous one. Scoop, import, connect. So till here it will never change, guys. Till this username place, because you have to provide all these details. Maybe in case if it is a different kind of operation like export, then it will change. Or else scoop, import, command statements, usernames, passwords. And now the table that I wanted to import is users, and number of papers I want to execute is again one only. But this time explicitly I'm providing a target directory, which is users table. So a new target directory would be created as users table, and there you will see all the data flowing in. Are you able to follow this team? Of course, it's pretty simple. Okay, let me select users information as well. Okay, again here it has few rows like user ID, username, password, email. So these 4 should be coming in now. So users.jar is created, and yep, it's coming. Okay, again it retrieved 3 records. You can just go ahead, and users table is the directory that I have created. So here I will get my results. So user ID, first name, last name, and email address. All the 3 records were retrieved again. Now let me show you different kind of combinations you can put it with. Here if you look, it is again same as the previous command, but this time I'm going with the default number of mappers. What is the default number of mappers, team?
Is it 3?
No, so it is 4 mappers, right? As
4.
we have discussed, right? So if I don't specify the number of mappers to be executed for my code, by default it will take 4 mappers, which means you will get 4 part files and your data will be distributed among these part files. Again, how it get distributed is something which is not under control. It's going by hash key of your table. So let us execute this. So if you look at the boundary values also, I mean some more specifications about it, like I haven't given like what are the user IDs that I want to pull or something like that. It's kind of extract the entire table. Hence, it is defining the boundary values of min of user ID and max of user ID from this users table. And now if you look, the mapper job is progressing on 25%, 25%, and so on like that, because it will get parallel jobs triggered at the backend where each mapper trying to extract 25% of data. So users table, right? Yep. So this is the one created. Now, yeah, look at it. Part file has 0 file has data, second file has data, third file has data, but this one file is having 0 records. So the data is distributed. We do have 3 records to be distributed among 4 part files. It did in this way. So if you look at it, each of them, you have some different records. Clear on this table? Okay, if no questions, I will move on. Fine. Adding some more features of it. Like slowly I will keep on increasing the complexity of this, guys. So importing data by using a specific condition, which means including a where clause. So scope import connect username. Now same table is being extracted, that is users, which was done in the previous statement. But this time, instead of retrieving the entire table, I want to extract one specific user ID. And this is the user ID that I want to pull in. And to which place I want to load? Yes, even that I have mentioned as target directory called as get row. So a directory will be created called as get row, and that specific record which we are looking in would be extracted. So this time it says retrieved one record only. So what is the user ID we are looking in? This one. So this is what I had given in my where clause, and hence I extracted only one record. So no matter you have 1 million records or 10 million records in your source, you can always use this where clause and retrieve only required rows. And this where clause works only in few scenarios. Not every time just a where will suffice our requirement, right? So what they did is, instead of giving this where clause, you can integrate a SQL command itself altogether into your scoop command. So any valid SQL statement can be inserted into your scoop statements. So if you look at this team, scoop import connect username root -e. So this is the uh, variable that will accepts your SQL statements. So -e select star from users, which means I want all columns. In case if I want only 2 columns out of 4 or 5 columns and pointing to a specific row, I can very well do it. Select ID comma name from employee table where employee ID is equal 1 2 3 4 whatever. So those kind of commands I can easily put it. But the difference is, as it is, you can put the select statement, but you need to include this, guys. Where dollar conditions followed by that only you have to give your required conditions. If you skip this off, it will not be able to understand the select statement. Okay, every select statement will have this theme. Okay, that's very important, we have to remember. Now scoop import, this is the command I want to use, where user ID is equal to something and the number of mappers I want to execute is 1. Also have provided target directory. So let us go ahead and execute it. Okay, retrieved 1 record. Yep, users table 1 is the one I'm looking for. Same old data, because though it is where clause or though it is select statement, I am retrieving one single record, right? And I haven't given any specific columns also. I had given select star. So it's one and the same, at least in this case. If I in case give select only specific column, that might matter in the difference between this get row and users table one. But yeah, are you able to understand this team? Okay, good. So let's move on, guys. Next one is this eval statement. Okay, I will explain you during the POC. There you can easily understand. So these are few combinations of import. Now look at the export command, guys. Scoop, and the type of operation I want to perform is export. Now this time connect username. The table to which I want to export is scoop export, and this table should already be available, guys, or else it will simply throw an error saying that table is available, and it will keep on appending the records. So you can add a new table or keep on adding it, or else it can be an append of records also. Anything should be fine. Now export directory. So this is the actual source, which means from which HDFS path it has to retrieve the data and put it into that table. For example, guys, let me see if the scoop export is already there. I guess. Okay, it's an empty data set also. Awesome. So let me now retrieve that, guys. And let me see if this source is also available. Users get row part m. Yep. Users get row part m. Awesome. This path is also there. So I'm exporting that one record into this scoop export table. Input path does not exist. Awesome. User, Gita, not users. It's get row, right? Okay. Yeah. Beginning export of scope export. So that's the table we want to write. Yeah. Now again, it's a map only job. Okay. It says exported one record. Let us verify it in MySQL. Again, I'm giving select star from this table. So I got one record, which means the data is exported properly. So it should map with the kind of columns and number of rows and all that, guys. I mean, rows wise it's fine, but if you look at the structure of the scoop export, it should match with your HDFS path columns. So that is again important, or else it will throw an error saying that mismatch of data and mismatch of columns. Okay, and this is one interesting command again. Updating data. There might be scenarios where data is already available in your MySQL and you initially extracted from MySQL into HDFS, you did some processing and you got some updated value and you want to put it back to MySQL, which means in simpler terms, you want to update the data, existing data at MySQL layer from Hadoop. Yes, you can very much do it. But again, it should have a primary key. So there should be one unique column so that you can identify that record. If that's the case, you can do it. Or else there are again some more ways. We can slowly look into it. Yeah. So looking at this commands, scoop export, connect statement, username is root. The table now I want to export is scoop export 1. Export directory is this one, and update key is user ID. So try to match the user ID between HDFS and MySQL, and for that specific row, update the data with whatever you have in this path. So that's what this command says. So scoop export 1, right? Let me see what data I have. Okay, if you look at it, I have username and password as test. Email is also something. For the same user ID, in our HDFS path, yeah, for example, if I take this record itself, I do have James at gmail.com, and the user ID is matching, of course. So all the remaining columns will get updated at the MySQL layer as soon as I give this. So let me show you. But the path file is 0, right? Get row pattern 00 into export this table. Okay, looking good. So exported one record. So let us check in this MySQL table. So initially it was test, and now it got updated with James and James. So that is how you update data at MySQL using this export command, friends. And finally, one command I want you to look in is exporting into Hive tables. So all the statement remains same team. Sqoop import statement, username, table, number of mappers, everything remains same. You just need to add one more tag called as Hive import. That will make sure that data is imported into Hive table. Maybe you can give a stab on this, guys, and let me know if you are, you know, how it works. Okay, you can just take it as an assignment. So I will wind up the session today here now, friends. And in the next session, we will go through Flume and then the POC. And also I will update you when the next session is. Tomorrow we are not going to have it. Maybe end of next week we will have those sessions. Okay. Well, good guys. I need to quickly wind it up. So if any questions, I will take up in the next session. Okay. Thank you all, friends. Good night.